Is it really necessary to have an app that costs something? Well, in today's video I will try art apps from $0 to up to $250 and let's see what's really worth their money. But wait, maybe we don't even have to spend money because our first app is Sketchbook and it's literally free. So let's get on a tablet and let's see how the app even looks like. Here we are in the software and the first thing that I have to say is that the layout looks, in my opinion, not that good. Like, it's so wide, it's literally burning my eyes. At the right we can see the layer, at the left different brushes, and at the top we can see the adjustments. I think this over here is like the shortcut tool. When I click on it and go with the pencil to the left and the right, I can make the brush smaller and bigger. And obviously the other circle is for the color. And here we see the first problem. I don't know for what the star is, but it's only for the premium version. But I think it's unnecessary anyway. So I would say enough talking and let's start with the first drawing. And for that I decided to start with a portrait. I decided to draw a more simple art style, and with that I mean an art style that the nose looks, for example, like this and not something like that. I started with drawing a circle, and here I saw the first problem. In Procreate you can draw a rough circle, and when you stay with the pencil on the screen it turns into a perfect circle. In Sketchbook you don't have this option. Next downside is you can take the lasso tool and move some things. For example, I wanted to move those nostrils a little bit down and it just didn't work. Maybe I couldn't find the option, but yeah. The next red flag is there is no liquify tool. Can you imagine that? No liquify tool? That's literally crazy, and I don't mean it in a positive way. So the sketch is more or less done. I think you could sketch on every app, to be honest, even in Apple Notes. But things will change in the coloring stage. First of all, I struggled to find the right brush. Eventually, I found a decent brush, but the problem was that it was way too small, and I couldn't make it bigger. After I had the base color down, I obviously had to put the other colors down. And I'm not kidding, it was horrible. The brush just mixed with the other colors. That means I had again to search for a new brush. And honestly, I didn't really found one. I ended up with this ugly colored face. I just accepted my fate because those brushes just made me mad. Then I made a new layer and went for the eyes. Here it was basically the same feeling. It just felt so weird to draw them, even though I've chosen a other brush. Finally, I colored the hair, and I gotta admit, I gave up. It just didn't make any sense to me to keep coloring the drawing. It just felt like being in a horror movie and you just go in the circle the whole time. So, what's the conclusion? Major problems. Can't resize the canvas, no liquify, you can't hold the pen to make a nice circle, no lasso tool to take something to move, undo doesn't work all the time, you know this double tapping, it's literally didn't work all the time, it's mad. In my opinion, it's not even good for beginners, because I think there will be many people that are like, yeah, I want to start with art, they're really motivated, and then they, you know, start Sketchbook, start drawing and stuff, and then they see this ugly drawing and they're like, no, I will give up on that. It will also take way longer for them to even learn how to draw because of those goofy brushes. I mean, I'm not in pro yet, but you know, these are like my regular drawings, and you know, I had such a big struggle to color the face, I'm not even kidding. I tried every single brush and everything just looked so off. I really can't recommend this app, I'm sorry Sketchbook, but I mean, I don't know how good the premium version is, but as a free app, it's definitely not it. So far we can see that the free app really wasn't it. That really means that only the expensive app is the only way to go. Or is it really like that? Let's see. But what even is the expensive app? I choose Photoshop because many pros use that app and it costs $250 a year, which is absolutely crazy. In other words, it's an evil app. But what do I mean with evil app? In my opinion, evil apps are apps where you have to pay monthly for it. Like for example Clip Studio Paint and many other examples. I mean, for a long time perspective, you literally pay 3 figures and that's just, in my opinion, crazy. For context, I only got Photoshop because I have this student subscription. In comparison to Sketchbook or Procreate, we have to load some brushes into Photoshop. I never did that, I hope it's not that hard.
A few moments later.
Alright, the import was actually so easy. Definitely a big pro point for Photoshop. And again, start with a rough sketch. Here was the same problem like in Sketchbook. I couldn't make this kind of procreate circle, but it's alright. But for beginners it can be definitely hard. Made a rough sketch, made a new layer, made the sketch cleaner. Then I took the lasso tool and filled the sketch with the base color. What I also very like is that you have your keyboard for hotkeys. It's just very satisfying to work faster and more effective. Now that we have the base color down, we can add the second value. There I saw the first problem, and that was that Photoshop didn't see the barrel roll of the Apple Pencil. The new brushes felt very weird, but I'm sure with more practice it would look better. But the brushes were definitely better than in Sketchbook because there was no mixing, they were just like Procreate brushes. I also noticed that because of the hotkeys, I also use a lot more tools in comparison to Procreate. Like it all, the whole process felt like more professional, if I can say it like this. You know, I just felt like I'm Sam Does Arts. You know, you see always Sam on this big Wacom and he's drawing and do the hotkeys. And you know, it was a very great feeling to experience that. I mean, it's obviously not a Wacom, but one day. As you can see, the drawing turned out pretty rough. I hope you can forgive me for that. You know, I didn't have that much time, and to learn the whole program, you know, it was a little bit of struggle. I'm be honest, it was a little bit of struggle to draw on the tablet that is connected to the MacBook, but I will give you definitely an update if I manage that. But what's the conclusion now? We tried a cheap app and a very, very expensive app. We tried the cheap app and obviously it wasn't a great experience. But does it mean you have to get Photoshop subscription? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I can highly recommend you to get Procreate, or if you're an Android user, the copy of Procreate. The big advantage of Procreate is that you have to pay only once, and I think the program costs like $50, so it's in my opinion more than fair. I mean, other subscription cost $15 monthly. And obviously we can't forget that Photoshop is a photo edit program. That means that you wouldn't even use 90% of it. So if you're a beginner, definitely wait with it. Definitely. Except you have maybe a Wacom tablet or you know an XP Pen tablet and you are forced to draw on your PC. But even there, I would suggest you to just look for some cheaper subscriptions like I did. And I would say it's more or less worth it, but it's still extremely expensive. I hope you enjoyed this video and let me know in the comments which program I should try next or compare with each other. Let me definitely know. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and peace out.